Hi guys, my name is Javier Rojas and I am part of ISEC in the University of Costa Rica's local committee. This webinar is meant to show you the projects we offer here in the UCR. So I'm going to show you our booklet and we'll be explaining the projects we offer and the details it's important for you to know. Well, here you can see our slogan, Feel the Pura Vida. And here you can see a picture of some group of volunteers that were here by the end of 2018, last year. And so let's begin. Our first project is called Naturatica. This is a project that works in an indigenous community called Briuripa. The NGO is called Briuripa Caneblo, and they work for the SDG number 13, which is climate action. The projects are involved with agriculture, reforestation, and activities for the well-being of the community, such as painting, creating environmental materials, cleaning campaigns, preparing fields for harvest, and such activities. They also get involved like in organic agriculture for the subsistence of the community, which is done in these fields that they own. It's part of the indigenous community. A lot of other things the volunteers get involved with is recycling with a group of indigenous women, raising environmental awareness in the community, and this kind of main tasks. Well, here you can see the website of the NGO in case you want to visit. Okay, some important details about this project is that the volunteers are involved in physical activities such as building, carrying materials, working in fields under the sun. So it's like a really physical project. The volunteers are always involved in physical activities, outdoors. So this is like really important for you to align with your EPs. The accommodation is provided by the NGO and it's located on the NGO. Therefore, you don't have to travel by bus to get to work. They offer the accommodation in the NGO. They have their own rooms. They have like cabins where the volunteers stay in. The community has a very organic and natural way of life. EPs are involved in this way of life. It's really simple, really like back to nature, back to basics. So it's like a really natural and like of a pure essence way of life. EPs get involved in activities, like I said before, that raise environmental awareness. They design recycling campaigns, and some specific periods of the year. They focus on some main issues. For example, on December or January, they focus on preventing wildfires. That is like a main issue there at that time because of the dry season. So it's like a really big issue. So they became involved in workshops with the community to prevent wildfires and good practices about this and such things. As I said, the accommodation is within the NGO. The volunteers live during the 6 weeks in the NGO. The NGO is located about 6 hours away from San Jose, the capital of Costa Rica. From San Jose, volunteers take a bus to Buenos Aires in Punta Arenas, and from there they take another bus to Salitre, which is the place where Briuripa is located. Like I said, is one bus from San Jose to Buenos Aires, Punta Arenas, which takes about 5 hours long, and then another bus to Buenos Aires, from Buenos Aires to Salitre, which is like about half an hour, could be a little more. So it's like a 6-hour journey. And at the NGO, they're like a bit isolated, to say it in a way. They live like in the middle of the jungle, to be clear. So there is no Wi-Fi nor signal reception. Just like in very few spots they could find some reception. So about 80% of the time the EPs won't have internet access or cell phone reception. This is like a really important point to clarify for future volunteers. They need to be aware that they will be like really isolated, and no have like they won't have like a lot of technological contact and with the with their home country. They will be like that will be really difficult. Volunteers will stay in cabins or rooms that are about like 4 to 5 people each, and each room has its own bathroom, and they will have their own pillow, their own mattress, and such that will be provided, of course. The NGO has like the capability to host about 40 people, but that doesn't mean we will have like 40 opportunities for ISECers, for volunteers. No, because the NGO also receives some other sorts of volunteering, like local volunteers, and university students from here. So they won't all be like only from ISEC volunteers. There are also some other people involved that will be there. Um, some benefits that we could find in this project is that they have 3 meals. The 3 meals are included in this project. These meals are very natural, organic, and like vegetarian based. Like they're really they consist in fruits, rice, beans, typical food like gallo pinto, tortillas, picadillo, which is like a lot of different vegetables, like smashed and cut together in little pieces and mixed. Soups, plants, like I said, it's really like natural, really organic. They won't eat a lot of meat, so it's like vegetarian and vegan people won't have any problem in this project. They will be fine because that's like the main base of the meals. Meals have like a permanent schedule and like an exact time they are served. Volunteers must be on time to for the meals. They are served like a breakfast at 7 a.m., lunch at 12 p.m., and dinner at 6:30 p.m., around 6:30. So, like I said, like all meals are covered, but EPs must. It's not like the food will be there for them to take at any time of the day. No, they have like an exact time to eat. Okay, some requirements for this project: very good ability and flexibility to adapt in rural environments. Like I said, they are a bit isolated. Like they live really like in the middle of a forest, of a jungle. They won't have like signal reception, Wi-Fi. That's like really difficult in there. So they need to be really aware of this, like really aware that they are going to live in nature, like be really flexible to these like environments that for some may be harsh, for some people that are not used to. So they need to be like flexible and adapt to this very well. This shouldn't be a problem for them, or they should like prepare themselves. They should know basic English to be able to communicate with the community, because the community only, well, they are, some are actually bilingual, but bilingual meaning they speak their native language, which is Bribri, and some speak Spanish as well, but they don't speak English. Like no, that's, you won't find a local that speak English. So it's the community. So as I'm explaining, they only speak Spanish. So what we do to like arrange this issue is that we try to mix a little bit the volunteers that we accept in this project. Like we try to make sure there are some volunteers who can speak both Spanish and English, so they can help English speaking people that only speak English. They don't know any Spanish. So we arrange that in order, so okay, there will be some people that will be able to translate with the locals that will only speak Spanish. So that won't be a problem. We can have like English, only English speaking people. They translate it. The people that can speak both, they will help with this. They will translate it there. That's no problem. But they do need to know a little bit of English at least. Like if it's their volunteers are from a different nationality and they can speak neither English or Spanish, then that will be a problem because it will be really difficult to communicate. Okay, they will Also need to have like a good physical condition, because as I said, a lot of the tasks are manual and physical, like very physical, like on the outside, working with their hands and on a field. It's very physically demanding, so they need to be like also prepared for this, aware that their everyday jobs will require them to make some physical activity. For this reason, it's important for volunteers to come prepared with comfortable clothing, sunscreen, mosquito repellent, resistant shoes, comfortable and resistant shoes, all this kind of clothing that is like suit for this kind of environment. Injuries and health risks are important. It will be important that they will previously be announced to us, because many medical condition a volunteer may have, it's really important that they come prepared, like they come with enough medication for 6 weeks, or that they let us know beforehand, because as I have said, the NGO, the community is like isolated from many big cities, is really far away from many big cities, so the access to medical services, emergency services is not easy at all. So a person that has any medical condition should be aware of this and come prepared with medication, or let us know if there's like any special condition or so. Um, since work is very physically demanding, volunteers will only work like around 3.5 hours a day. So normally they will work from 8 a.m. to 11:30 a.m. some or around that, and they work from Monday to Thursday. So they work 4 days a week. They are free on Fridays, Saturdays, and Sundays. They are off. So they in the weekends they are free. They are able to leave the NGO. They can go visit some other places of the country. They can go to beaches or mountains or any other place they would like to visit. They are free to go. They are also able to stay in the NGO if they want to, but they do need to know that food won't be included in these 3 days. Like they will only have meals from Monday to Friday. That's the only time meals will be served. On Saturdays and Sundays they won't get food. So if they decide to stay there, they won't get any meals on Saturday and Sunday. And if they want to leave, they are also able to leave the NGO like on a daily basis. Like on a Tuesday, they want to go to the nearest town, which is Buenos Aires. They are able to, after they finish their work, their daily journey, their daily work. They are able to go to the nearest town in case they want to go buy some stuff and go to the supermarket or just see something else. There's like a bus that leaves at 1 p.m. to Buenos Aires and goes back like at 4 p.m. So they have like a little time. And as I say, they all can also like in the weekends they can also use the same bus and go make a trip, go somewhere else in the country. Alcohol and drugs are not allowed in the NGO. So if the volunteers want to party or something, they must do it outside of the facilities. They cannot party inside the NGO. They must go like to nearest town, or in their weekends, their days off. But this is really important that they cannot and do it inside the facilities. Okay, then it's also really important to let the volunteers know that they have to respect the community and the way of life, adapt to them. So like the community won't adapt to the volunteer. The volunteer must adapt to the community. And they are very friendly. They are very humble and they have a very simple way of life. So volunteers must be comprehensive, thankful, respectful, and empathetic with this environment, with this way of life. Uh, Very open-minded, very flexible. So they should have this mindset. Like for this project, it's important. And don't expect city-like commodities. They will be surrounded by nature, by animals, mosquitoes, warm weather. So like, well, don't expect like city-like commodities, and they will be like in the forest, in the jungle. So they should have this idea very clear. And this project is like a really good opportunity to learn and grow, to connect with the community and its people. It's really, that's one of the main attractions of this project, that volunteers tend to connect really well with the community. They tend to like bond really well, and they also bond really well with other volunteers, since they live together for 6 weeks and they won't get like interfered by technology, to say it in some way. They will have like a lot of like a really good opportunity to connect with people, to be together, to like forget about cell phones and other stuff that of their normal life. So it's like a really good chance to know themselves better, know other people, know their culture. So that's, it's like a really nice and attractive project for this reason. Here you can see some pictures, some of the work they do, some of the expeditions around the forest, and, making some materials, some signals. There's also a river really close to where they live, so they also go. They usually go to the river, swim for a while when they are done with their work. They also go camping to places that are like close to the NGO. They are like they have that flexibility to, after working hours, to explore, see the nature. So they have like that opportunity. And here you can see some more pictures of them working. These are some of the like cultural manifestations of the local community. Okay, so let's talk about our next project, which is called Educatica. Educatica, we are currently working with two different NGOs, which are called CIFAIS and Bandera Blanca. Educatica is a project that works with the SDG number 4, which is quality education. CIFAIS is like our main project in Educatica, because we have like a really long time working with them. We have like a really good relationship. Bandera Blanca is kind of a more recent project. It's kind of new, but we have like very good expectations with them. Okay, let's talk first about our newest project, which is Bandera Blanca. Bandera Blanca is located in Atillo, which is like a socially vulnerable place. Bandera Blanca is like a community center that works with children from ages from around 4 to 17, so children and teenagers. In this project, Bandera Blanca, EPs develop workshops, give tutorships, like helping the children in their with their current subjects at school, with homework, and give them like extra support. Create workshops to raise awareness of different issues related with the SDGs, like the environment, like gender equality. They have like the that a chance to explore different subjects and raise awareness about them. And Bandera Blanca has like different activities the APs can get involved. They have they work 4 days a week. They work Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays. On Tuesdays, they go to a place. There is like an orchard, like a field where they grow some vegetables, which they sell in order to collect some money for the NGO. The volunteers go to this place on Tuesdays, just on Tuesdays, to help with any maintenance they need to do, with harvesting the crops or the things they have there. The other days they go to the NGO and they help with the work. They like work directly with the kids. They develop workshops. They play with them. It's like it's they have a lot of liberty to develop their own spaces with the kids, their own like workshops, tutorships. So it's kind of like very relies on the creativity of the volunteer. There is also one day, which is Saturdays, that they go to like an open field and they have like they play a lot of sports. It's like a physical day, like an open air, and they play football, soccer, they run, and it's like a really dynamic day. But that's like in general the project. It requires EPs that are very proactive, creative. They must design their own workshops. They must be willing to help with the NGO's daily needs. They need to be like flexible and be ready to help with any thing that may show up in any need that the NGO may have. So that's Bandera Blanca in Atillo. We also, as I said, we also work with Suffice, which is actually the one you can see in this picture. That's Suffice. Suffice is located in La Carpio, which is like a really vulnerable place. Actually, it's like one of the most vulnerable and marginal places of the country. And Suffice, it's also with the SDG number 4, which is quality education. They work with children, with kids too, and they emphasize in teaching English and also in like giving extra support in math and Spanish, giving like tutorships with that are like extra help for the kids with their homework or with the current subjects they are learning at school. Also, but in a creative and fun environment for the kids, like they are able to volunteers are able to design their classes to involve different dynamics. So, but it's meant to support them in this mainly in these three areas: English and math and Spanish. Um, days at some points, some days, they also will get involved with adults that go to the Suffice. And this is mainly in the afternoons. They that some adults also go to this NGO, and in here they get English lessons. So the volunteers will also be willing to give some English lessons to adults. Um, in this project, Educatica, which involves Suffice and Bandera Blanca, the accommodation is with a host family, and is within what we call the urban area of the country, like we call it the metropolitan area, which includes 4 different states or provinces, like the 4 provinces of the center of the country, the urban area. These are Heredia, Cartago, San Jose, or Alajuela. So EPs may live in any of these places, in any of these urban area. So they need to be like aware that they may have to travel to the NGO like sometimes an hour and a half in the worst case. So they need to notice that depending on where their host will be located, they may have to travel to the NGO like a considerable distance. It's not distances are actually really short in this area, in these 4 provinces. The distances are really short, but the problem is traffic. We have like a lot of problems with that. So sometimes it's that's what gets like some distances like to take a really long time to cover them. So they need to be aware of this. That sometimes they will have to travel like 1 hour to go and 1 hour to come back from the NGO. In these projects, but in Suffice, they work from Thursday to Sunday, so they are off on Monday to Wednesday. Monday to Wednesday they are free. Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. So they work 4 days a week, and the other 3 they are free. To make it like a clear, in Bandera Blanca they work Tuesday, Wednesdays, and Saturday, Sundays. They are free on Thursdays, Fridays, and Monday. Host in these projects, they will provide basic living commodities like water, internet, electricity, a place to do the laundry, and they will provide one meal at least, like could be breakfast, it could be dinner. They will provide at least, and like if they will provide at least the ingredients for the volunteer to also make the meal if you want to. In this project, it's really important that the volunteers respect the living ways of the family and be helpful with them, clean after themselves, be like respectful with their way of life, and be like a little bit organized, and as I said, like help in the daily chores that the household may have. Um, and the transport for these for both these projects, and they're like similar. They have to take a bus from main San Jose, from the center of San Jose. They will have to travel from their host families to the center of San Jose, and from there they will take a bus to the NGO. It's only one bus away, so it's like okay, from the center of San Jose they take one bus to La Carpio, which is Ifáis, or to Atillo, which is Bandera Blanca. So they have to be ready, like at least normally they take at least two buses, a bus from their home, from their host family, to the center of San Jose, and from center of San Jose another bus to the NGO. In these projects, it's very important that EPs have like sensibility, empathy, because they will deal with uh, children, with kids that are like in vulnerable positions, vulnerable backgrounds. So they will need to be really sensible, really empathic, and also very proactive, very proactive, because a lot of the work will be like led upon the volunteers' creativity, the volunteers' energy. So it's also a lot of like it's really necessary that the volunteer will be proactive and very like energetic. Okay, these both these projects have a fee of $60, which that's for ISX logistics, for our logistics in here, which are like includes the pickup, the IPS, lead sessions, welcome package, so that sort of things. I forgot to mention, sorry, in the Bribiripa, the Naturatica project, the one I talked before, the fee is $300. Is you can see it here, I believe. It's $300. This is because that includes that covers like the accommodation costs for the NGO, and also the 3 meals. That's like why it's like kind of high. It's $300. It's the meals and the facilities, the accommodation. Okay, so back to Eucatica. Well, here you can see some pictures of the volunteers giving some lessons, some tutoring, making some games, playing with the children. Okay, now our last project is called Aquatica, which is involved with SDG number 14, which is submarine life. So kind of the name says it all. Aquatica, we are currently working with two NGOs, which are Sirenas and Mare Blue. Mare Blue is like our newest one. This is a project, an NGO. We have a relationship. We started with them the relationship in like the end of last year. Okay, so in Mare Blue, it focuses on cleaning and protection of oceans and beaches. They get to places where tourists and people normally don't have access. So, like some remote beaches or reefs, and they go to these places to clean it and preserve it. They make a lot of like expeditions on the area, like expeditions to clean, to explore the ground, and they recollect plastic waste and take it to recycling centers. They also teach the community. They become involved with the community to raise awareness about good practices, clean practices with the environment, healthy way of life, and involving the environment as well. Um, they are also they are this they're beginning sorry they're beginning to work with some animal centers, which is like butterfly farms. This NGO is beginning to build one, to build a butterfly farm, to develop one, and turtle nests. So the volunteers will be involved like in the process of building these animal centers, like designing and helping building them. And depending on the time of the year, because they are like currently starting to do this, they may also arrive, and this will already be like done, the turtle nests and the butterfly farms. So they will also be working with this, with maintaining such centers. And they will also be involved like with expeditions and patrolling the turtle nests, the taking care of the butterfly farms, and such things. Okay, in this project, this has like a particular way of working the schedule, like the distribution of hours of the project, because during the 6 weeks it's distributed like this. They will work the first 2 weeks of the project. They will work every day. They will work like every single day from these first 2 weeks. Then they will have 2 weeks off. 2 weeks that they won't have to be in the NGO. They won't have to do any work. This is like when um, they take this time to go make some trips, to go meet the country, to go to some other parts of the country, and just like uh, some touristic trips. And then they come back to the NGO and work the last 2 weeks. The same, they work every day of these last 2 weeks. Uh, it's important also for the volunteers to know that in these 2 weeks in the middle, the third and the fourth week, they can't stay in the NGO. They actually have to leave the facilities. They need to go to they need to leave the facilities of the NGO, and this is like so when they go to other places, and as I said, they visit some touristic points, and they know the country, but they can, if they would like for some reason to stay, they can't. They have to leave the NGO. The facilities are not able for them to stay. So this is like really important for you to clarify to your volunteers. Um, Also, something important about this project is like the dates are not flexible. Like it's really, really important for the volunteer to start the project as the opportunity in X and to finish it as well in the same date. With these projects in particular, Aquatica, we're not flexible. Okay. Well, here you can see some projects and some pictures, sorry, of volunteers working, of doing some activities, recycling, recollecting trash, plastic wastes. Well, for both projects, I'm going to say right now, for both projects, both Mareblue and Sirenas, it's really, really important for the volunteer to know how to swim. That's like it sounds like redundant, but it's like really basic. We can't accept anyone that can't swim, because they will live in the beach, and sometimes they will have to go to the sea, to go to a boat and make an expedition. So it's mandatory that the person needs to know how to swim. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you. I'm going to explain about Sirenas, which is the other NGO. Sirenas is it's more focused. It's really, really focused on turtles, on the preservation and protection of turtles. They they help build and design, like, well, locate turtle nests like in ideal positions. They recollect data about turtles. They enhance practices for protecting these turtle nests. They like do patrolling expeditions. They are like really their activities are like around the turtle life. They also get involved in beach cleanups, planting species of plants, trees along the rivers and the coastline. They do workshops with the community on waste management, recycling, sustainable water use, and any way of educate the community. They like also do some organic farming. Some they have like a little field, like a little place where they harvest some vegetables. They also became involved in these activities. Okay, transportation. Okay, going back to Marebu. Sorry, I forgot to talk to you about the place where it is located. Mareulu is located in Punta Leona, Punta Arenas, which is about 2 hours away from San Jose. So it's not that far away from the capital. Uh, the facilities are located like in a hotel, actually, in Mareulu. Like the NGO has like an agreement with a hotel that they provide the facilities for this as part of like their social responsibility program. And so they stay in these facilities, but the maintenance and all the costs of these facilities, the NGO needs to cover them. So that's why the fee is also high. It's this fee is $370, which is the same divided like in $60 of logistics to Isaac and $300 to cover the costs of like of the accommodation, like maintaining the places, the rooms, the water, the electricity, electrical power, the cleaning, maintenance, etc. So but they in this project is like a benefit. They have like it's a really comfortable place. Like they even have like air conditioning in the rooms. So there's like that's like a really good commodity. And this project includes breakfast, includes one meal a day. Um, okay, so yeah, that's like the most important information about the location. It's like 2 hours away. It's like in a hotel, so they will have like access to main services. Like the town is like a like kind of like more has more activity than the other projects that are a bit more isolated. So that's like some aspects about this project. So in now, as I was describing to you, Sirenas, well, I already described a little bit the activities, the details. It's like really focused in turtle life, but as well they become involved in cleaning, recycling, and such activities. Sirenas is located in Santa Teresa in Cóbano, which is further than Mareblu. Is like a 6 hour trip from San Jose. The way of going there, they arrive at they when they are in San Jose, they take a bus to Punta Arenas. Where in Punta Arenas they have to take a ferry. I don't know how to call that in English, or if actually that's the English word, but it's like a big boat that transports cars. So they take one of these, then and after this, when they arrive at Cobano, the ferry is from Punta Arenas to Cobano. In Cobano, they will have a private shuttle that will take them to the NGO, which is about 45 minutes away. So this is why I said before that we are not flexible with these projects with Aquatica, because the way specifically Sirenas, the way of getting there is not easy, and the we need to hire a private transport to get to the NGO because it's kind of isolated. There are no buses. So there is like there is a private bus that is hired. So that's why it's really important that they arrive on the date that is specified on the opportunity. And if for any reason the volunteer misses the day that they are supposed to get to the NGO, and they miss this private shuttle, then they will have to pay their own transportation to the NGO. We won't cover that. The fee is the same, it's $360. For these projects, what we expect from volunteers are also like people that are very flexible, that have a lot of adaptability, because there's also, well, they will live on the beach, so it's also like a rural environment, so they need to adapt very well. Um, Basic English is also expected, because, well, in these places, the people of the NGO tend to speak in English. So if you speak English, you will be able to communicate very well, very well. But basic English, it will be like expected, because yeah, any other language, it could be like a little bit more trouble. Okay, so in here we specify a little bit about the way of working. That is 2 days. They start working the first 2 weeks, then 2 weeks off, then 2 weeks back to the NGO. It's like the specification of that. Here are some pictures of the activities the volunteers do. Here you can see them working with turtles, and you can see the nests, them working with the nests, preparing the turtle nests, protecting them, watching over the eggs. I mean, they make expeditions. They are like really involved in this like whole process of the turtle of when they get to the beach to lay their eggs, and also preparing materials, as you can see in this picture, preparing materials about awareness to involve the community and such things. Um, okay, so basically we've covered like the main details about all the projects. There is like the main thing about this last one, Aquatica, is like they need to know how to swim. They need That's like an ability they need to have, and also like basic good physical condition, because the activity is also like very physical, and just being like very time also proactive. They will have to like nature, be willing to adapt to the different environments, and such traits are what we are looking for. And some important detail about the project of Aquatica and Briuripa, which are the Naturatica and Aquatica, which are the projects that are far away from San Jose, like hours away, is that volunteers arrive a late. We ask for them to arrive at least a couple of days before the official starting date of the project. So they will have to stay in San Jose for at least a night or a couple of nights, if we better, a couple of nights in San Jose. And we recommend a hostel. We have like a really good relationship with a specific hostel in San Jose. But it is important for them to know that when they arrive, they won't arrive immediately to the NGO. No, they will have to wait at least a couple of days to get to the NGO, and they will stay in a hostel, and then they will depart to the NGO, where the accommodation will be provided. Normally, because these projects are like very far away, and like it takes like a whole day to get there, and it's like, so it's like a big trip. And the first day, like someone from ISEC will not be able to go with them all the time. So the first day, the NGOs already know this, and they are prepared to give the first day to the volunteers, to give them all the important information, all the preparation to them. So it's like that's already something we have arranged. Um, some other things that are important. Okay, maybe like explain to you why the fees of Apatica and Artratica are so high. It's because the NGOs, they don't have like a lot of financial support. They actually like run like money on a day-to-day way. Like they don't have like a lot of money to sustain their basic needs. So, in order to host the volunteers for 6 weeks, to have them living there and all the costs this implies, so that's why the fee is high to help with the meal that is provided, to help with the accommodation, with the cost of this, the water, electricity, and these kinds of things. Okay, so now I wanted to explain a little bit about some guidelines and requirements for in order to have like a really good process time with you. So to be honest, we receive a lot of applications. These are like some really attractive projects. They in other countries, they really like the aspects these projects have to offer. So as we receive a lot of applications, we need like collaboration of you guys in order to have like really good process time by assuring good profiles from the volunteers align with the needs and details of each specific project. So that's like really important for us, for you to collaborate with that, like knowing these details that I have explained, so that you can like tell that to your EPs, like make them really aware and really conscient about all these aspects of each specific project. So for that, we have asked that EPs must have seen our booklet when they apply. Um, if they need to know like they need to really understand the fee, that it's like separated from the fee they pay to you at home at the ISEC home, and that the fee is like separated, and they need to know the amount. This fee is paid in cash when they arrive, and we collect it in cash when they are here. They are already in their project, but they need to have that really clear, that it's something different from the fee they pay to you, and that it's paid in here in cash. Um, if you need some more education, some more materials, some questions, some whatever questions you have to ask, you can use any material from us. You can request it. You can ask for it. Um, as I have said before, for the reasons already explained, the dates are not flexible. It's like really important for the EP to be on the exact date that is specified. In case the EP has to arrive later or has to leave before the specific date, they will have to know that they will lose certain benefits that are given collectively, such as IPS, closing, welcome package. They may have to cover some extra costs, like for example, as I said, the transportation. There's a private shuttle involving Apatica, so that's like really important to them, as is specified here, like without exception, Apatica. Uh, in here we like emphasize on like we need like EPs that are like really well aligned and also really aware of the what the project mean, what the projects deal with. They have like a real good interests and passion about it, about what the projects will work with. So it's important for them to fill the form in with like with substance, with like real thoughtful answers. Um, Another important aspect is that our pickup time is from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So we always ask volunteers to make sure, try to arrive at those times when they book their flights from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. If they arrive later than that, like late at night in the like midnight, 1 in the morning, 2 in the morning, we won't be able to pick them up. We won't be responsible to be there at 2 a.m. What we do is that we tell them, okay, you can sleep at the airport, and we will pick you up at the first time in the morning. And so it's important that the EP knows this when they book their flight, that we will only pick them up from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. Also, we will like contact them like at least a month before they arrive, so it's good for them to know that they will be contacted one month before they arrived here in our country. And I think that's pretty much it. We have covered like the most important details and stuff about our projects and the details and logistics of all the projects we offer. So, any other question, you can contact us. Here you can see the different contacts of people of our members. So you can contact in any time, or you can go to our group chats. We will be responsive. So I hope this was helpful to you, and I really hope that you will get a lot of volunteers to come here. We'll be really, really happy to receive them. And so thanks a lot for your time, and bye bye. Thank you.